Hello YouTubers, this is a video based on the Attitude Era rant. No, not Attitude Era rant. I'm making a PG-13 era rant. What I'm gonna do in this video pretty much talk about how the evolution of wrestling from the 70s to now, cause there's at least a good 3 eras. Classic wrestling, the Attitude Era, and now the PG-13 era. But, alright, I'll start off. This is a PG-13 rant, so I will do a lot on the PG-13 era. I'll start off with the old wrestling era from around the late 1960s, which I've seen some of it, to now to the early 90s. Well, I like that era a lot. Like, it was probably one of my favorite eras because yeah, I grew up on the Attitude Era as a kid, but pretty much I like the old wrestling era because in a sense I kind of found the truth. Like, I was just one of those kids that always thought a certain way how wrestling should be, but then when I saw the old type of wrestling, I kind of liked it. Like, I liked the Ric Flairs, the Four Horsemen, the old cats back in the day. I even saw some videos of Roddy Piper while he was in Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, and he was totally different. I found a lot of mystery that I didn't think wrestling could be that way. So I've always had love and respect for that era. That's probably a good era that I like the wrestling based on. They actually had good matches. The entertainment wasn't so bad. It was just a good all-around show. And plus, things were actually cheaper, surprisingly. Not to put money as any value or not, but I'm just saying. The next era I'm going to talk about here in this rant video is the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era was the era I grew up on. It was a pretty good era back in the day. Like, things that happened was things were more violent. And of course, the thing that headlined the Attitude Era was the WCW versus WWF, the Monday Night Wars that lasted for 6 long years. The thing I realized, the WWF made a big transition. What the WWF had done, I'm going to go to WCW next. Pardon me, people. But what WWF had done was they transcended themselves from an organization that was wrestling, you had your interviews, a mixture of good quality things, to an era where it was just violence, people not giving a damn, recklessness, and this is what they gave little kids to grow on, and people adored it, people loved it. It was like, the 90s was kind of an era where people were like that, see, if it were the 80s, people like, someone like Dennis Rodman, people would be like, fuck you, you piece of trash, you don't belong nowhere, get the fuck out of here. Sorry for the profanity, but I'm telling like it is. And in the 90s, someone like Dennis Rodman, you know, he was accepted in society. He was like, oh, that's Dennis Rodman, what's up, man? Like, why do you think the NWO invited Dennis Rodman to be a NWO member, and then he got involved in WCW on Center 1997? But he had previous encounters with Hulk Hogan at Bash at the Beach 1995 and others. But back to WWF, it pretty much had a different change. Like, they changed everything. The music, the way things were going, the logo, the signature, the t-shirt. Well, Stone Cold fit perfectly for the Attitude Era. He was a badass son of a bitch before the Attitude Era even started. So, he just had the right time. He was just great at the right time. But they even changed how the Undertaker was. The Undertaker wasn't just this old dirge, this old bad guy. Like, they made him too more of like a modern bad guy with the American Badass. Even before that, for entertainment, they had the Ministry of Darkness and how he was the purveyor of evil. Like, if you guys ever hear his Ministry theme song, he says, allow the purity of evil to guide you. And how he even changed his music. Instead of having that old theme song that he used now, he changed his theme song to sound like a dark side and stuff. So people would change how the way they would do things. And back to WCW. For WCW's case, It wasn't much of a change. It was more of like a slow progression. But the thing of Nitro may have started it all, but in a sense, WCW took away all the old things they had. The affiliation with the National Wrestling Alliance, also known as the NWA, also having your pay-per-views, the way matches were like WCW Saturday Night started in 1972 as Georgia Championship Wrestling for all you fan favorites. And probably Gemini or Gold Dizzy, they should probably know that as well. See, when Nitro started, they made Saturday Night the B show. And with the coming of Thunder, it was a she show. That's why it ended in 2000, April 1st, 2000. That's the date. So it's pretty much a degradation of WCW as a whole. And they pretty much changed what got them to becoming great. The thing about the WWF was so properly known in the media that they didn't give a damn and they were popular. They already had a bad edge with that Vince McMahon steroid incident and other past occurrences and the Owen Hart death. May he rest in peace. So having that Attitude Era rant, so having the Attitude Era just made them a better, badder side. For TNA, they're not for PG-13. They're against it pretty much. Look at the channel they aired Impact on, Spike. Spike is nothing near family. It's all violent, dangerous, sex, and drugs. Which, I kind of like TNA for that. And good quality wrestling, which TNA has. And good superstars. Even though they got a lot of old cats in the game, those old cats in the game can pretty much still produce. Now to the PG-13 era, which I really just hate. You got all these little superstars like Hornswoggle, the 4'6" midget. I have none against him personally or honestly, but he could not do anything with wrestling. And you got someone like Rey Mysterio that's kid wise. Like you have wrestlers that are helping for little kids like John Cena. John Cena can wrestle, but it's just that you have wrestlers for little kids, and I have none towards little kids. Honestly, I love them, but having old wrestling eras are a lot better than the PG-13 era. If you have anything to comment on, then you could do on the comment box, or you could do a video response. Okay, bye.